Okay. Welcome back. We're here.
Hi.
And we figured we'd save all the chit chat until we just got started. So everybody knows that this podcast is called Seriously WTF, and that stands for not what you think it is, but what the 40.
I love it. You know, I wanna spill the beans, but I don't say it to everyone. But I'm like, in my head when I keep replaying WTF, seriously WTF, what the 40? I mean, it just makes sense. It makes sense. I like it.
So here, I'll tell you this. We walked in and Nara was talking about her weekend. And so I kind of pushed for getting a DEXA scan, right?
Okay.
For osteoporosis.
Yeah.
And I'm only 47. And everybody was like, my doctor was kind of like, okay, yeah, we can get a baseline, whatever. I'm like, well, my mom has osteoporosis and my grandmother had osteoporosis. So like, I probably should get this. So I got this done at the end of August, but I hadn't gotten the results back. So I had to go back again, all the things you have to do when you're 40. And so I had to do, the yearly mammogram. And I went in and I was like, I still never gotten my DEXA results. Can I get those? And they're like, oh, well, they should have been sent to the doctor. I'm like, that was like 4 weeks ago. I still don't have them. And I said, I'd kind of really like to see them. And so she's like, oh, well, yeah, we don't usually give them to you. You have to get them to your doctor and whatever. And I said, okay, well, could you send them to him? Because I'd kind of really like the results. And so she's like, she's doing all the things. And then she's like, she just hands me this piece of paper. And she goes, here, just say you printed it off of the website portal, right? So I'm looking at it and I read it and I start looking at it and I'm like, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. I don't know much about osteoporosis yet because I haven't looked in it.
Yeah.
And go through it and start reading and everything and then get done with the mammogram and then leave and walk back out and go, if you wouldn't believe, so I at 47 have osteopenia in my hips and I have osteoporosis in my spine.
Great news.
And I have been asking the doctors for the last year. So last September, I had to go in and I had MRIs of both my back and my hip. And I said, I am in so much pain.
Oh, I was just going to ask you, is it really?
This much pain.
Yeah.
And so they did the MRI. And so we did the MRI that weekend. I remember it was Labor Day weekend. I went home. I woke up on Saturday. I was in so much pain, but we had the soccer game to go to. And I was like, I'll go to the soccer game. I was like hobbling into the soccer game. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have gone. So Sunday morning, I wake up. I can't even get out of my bed. It's like the pain is so bad I can't get out of bed. Like I had to crawl to the bathroom.
Wow.
And in this whole last year, I've been asking them, I'm like, could any of this do with the fact that I'm like, was diagnosed as like officially menopausal in June of last year? Oh, no. No, it probably has nothing to do with your hormones. No, it probably has nothing to do with that. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure this has nothing to do with it? Lo and behold, I start doing all this research, start digging into all of it. So it says that if all of a sudden, you're in your 40s and your back acts up and you haven't done anything different, it could be, that you've had a minor fracture of your spine.
Oh, perfect. So everyone's just very paranoid now and
So of
making their
course,
appointments.
This has been all this. And so finally the doctor calls me today. We really need to get you in to discuss your DEXA results. I'm like, yeah, you think?
What do you do? I don't even know what would you? Okay, so if you have this condition, then what?
They're going to want to put me on medicine to keep my bones from breaking down. But this is just the thing. It was interesting because I was talking to my mom about it. My mom goes, you're like the poster child for fitness. Like you work out well and you eat well and you do all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's obviously this is genetics.
Yeah.
But luckily, I had spent the whole weekend like diving into, I had 2 hours to drive to soccer, 2 hours to drive home from soccer, 2 hours to drive to soccer.
That in itself is just like, imagine you're constantly just sitting down in this like stagnant.
I know. Yeah.
Which is everyone in LA, basically.
So I found the best researchers that I could possibly find that have written books on how to naturally do it. And just because you get an osteoporosis diagnosis does not mean your bones are necessarily fragile. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So to be continued. But of course, it goes along with, our whole seriously WTF, because I feel like, oh my gosh, like this is something you get when you're 60.
Hi.
And then you're over here dealing
Welcome
with
to
babies all weekend.
I mean, listen, I feel like we're 2 different chapters in our lives.
Yeah.
Very, very different. I'm dealing with a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. So let me tell you, if I was actually telling my husband, I said, if I was younger, I'd probably have a third because I love being pregnant. The aftermath is a shit show, but I just like really being pregnant, but I'm not, I'm like by the time I get pregnant again, I'll be like pushing 45. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And everyone's like, no, don't worry about it. Cause people in their 50s have babies. I'm like, there's no way. I don't want to be the old mom at school. Your grandma's here to pick you up, girlfriend. So I don't know. We're at such different stages, but we're just rolling with the punches here. You guys, we're surviving.
And you are how old?
43.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting that we're only 4 years difference in age, but how different life can be.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking, listen, most of my girlfriends are in their 30s. I mean, I don't know. Is it the Botox that makes me look so young? I don't really know. But no, I really think the young part of someone's character is their soul.
Yeah.
Like you have to feel young, like just laugh and, just take life not so seriously. Yeah. I was talking to someone, they're like, oh no, we should go to like shop and you need to dress a little bit more mature for your age. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Who wants to dress mature? What does that even mean? Am I supposed to be buttoned up and like suited up all day long? I'm like, that's so not me. It's like, imagine me prancing around with high heel shoes on. I can't do it. There's no way. There's no way. I am who I am.
And the funny thing is I'm in my daughter's room going, okay, now can I seriously wear this? Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Like, is this fashionable? Like, does this make me say like old mom kind of thing? And the other night we went to a fundraiser event Saturday night and I had come out and I had dressed up and like I was ready to go. And I was like, oh, and my girls both looked at me, Mom, you look really great. I was like, okay, it passes the
you passed the test.
Because I'm like, I don't want to show up being that really old person. But then again, I have to go out and be like, can I wear this or am I too old to wear this?
So let me tell you, my sister, who's a real estate agent, she's, obviously finding this is like her fourth career or something. And she's fantastic. She's so good at what she does. She's super, super smart. She'll read something. She'll just get it. She's amazing. And she's an awesome real estate agent. But she's like, okay, I need to like kind of like come up with this way, like my persona, right? Like how am I going to dress and all that? She busts out her closet, meaning her suitcase, because she was over at the house. She's visiting. And I'm like, no, you did not. You did not. She had a denim jacket on for a maxi dress that she was going to wear. But, she's like, what if it gets chilly? So I'm going to put the denim jacket. I'm like, okay, cool. Is it like a cool denim jacket, like oversized boyfriend cut, whatever, the boyfriend jeans? Dude, it was like a crop top from 2002, denim jacket. I said, oh, no, you're not. She goes, I just got this from Marshall's. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So please, it's the ones that don't want to wear that. And they're reselling it at Marshall's. And that's the reason why you got it at Marshall's. And no thing on Marshall's. I love it. But I'm like, we're getting rid of this. She's 52 years old. I'm like, we're not wearing crop top denim jackets. It's horrible.
Okay.
Anyway.
So that probably means that like, let's put some of this stuff on. So
okay.
Today's topic is we wanted to actually talk about what's going on after 40 because things just really
and don't think denim jackets are cool because it's not.
Or you find like you're diagnosed with something that you should be diagnosed with when you're 60.
There you go.
So I think one of the things that I thought we would start with too is I hear so many women say they're 40 and nothing works anymore. So that's one of the big things that I hear a lot is that women in their 40s, and I have to tell them, it's so funny because I see it all the time on Instagram. So there's all these people on Instagram and there's these 25-year-olds and they're coming up with like, do this keto diet or do this and make sure you make these cottage cheese bagels and all this other stuff. And people reach out to me and they're like, so I've been trying all this stuff. And I'm like, great, you're listening to the 25-year-old TikTokers about talking about health and fitness and all that kind of stuff. And they know jack shit when it comes to women in their 40s.
Nothing. No.
Like it was for me, I remember, and I'm sure you have your story. I remember being 40 years old. And so, we'll just not hide anything here in this podcast. But I remember 40 was my gift to myself was I literally went on antidepressants because I remember going to my doctor. It was right before my 40th birthday. And I said, what is going on? I said, I am in the fitness and nutrition industry. I have taken really good care of myself. I said, but I am 20 pounds overweight. Everything that I'm trying to do, nothing works. I said, there must be something wrong. And she ran all my blood panels. She ran everything. And she said, you're fine. Like everything's normal. Like she said, just some women at 40, things start to change. And I remember I said, so like my thyroid is fine. Cause I'm thinking, well, maybe my thyroid is off,
That's what
maybe,
everyone always thinks.
Maybe my insulin is off. Like maybe something is off. And she's like, everything is fine. Like you're fine. Just, some women in their 40s, they just start to put on some more fat. And I was like, and I remember thinking, because I've suffered with depression and anxiety my whole life, I was like, well, you got to give me something because this is not okay and I'm not functioning. And then I remember that day I went home and I talked to my business partner, Stacia, and I said, something's going on. And she goes, I think it's our hormones. Our hormones are really jacked up, you know? And it's one of those things. I mean, I've been working with women for so long with like their insulin and, you know, nutrition and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, this is different. Like things are different.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, and this is how actually our number one like solution program that we work with women was developed, because she's like, I think we need to figure out what's going on with our hormones. We did all this research with talking to OBGYNs and, you know, people that were studying hormones at the time. And I remember she's like found this diet and she's like, I think we should do this. We need to figure out what's going on and how it's affecting our hormones. And I was looking at it, I was like, I have to give up coffee for 10 days. I'm not giving up coffee. There's no way I'm giving up coffee. So, but you know, that was 7 years ago. And I lost the 25 pounds figuring out that women's bodies when we turn 40 are drastically different than in our 20s.
It's kind of like an overnight thing.
Yeah.
Really?
It's literally, you're like, I'm doing nothing, I'm breathing, and I'm gaining body fat.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Sometimes when someone comes in, they're like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm eating my protein. I exercise 4 to 5 times a week, blah, 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 but I'm gaining the weight. I don't want to necessarily say, well, it's because you're getting older. Everyone's on that bandwagon. None of that. I don't want to say that to them because I don't want to be, first of all, aging is a blessing, right? We get to live to see another day. That's for sure. But then like, you also don't want to be like, oh shit, well, I'm aging and what's happening and blah, blah. So it's all about finding the root. You know how you were like psycho and you're like, I need to see results. What's happening with my spine and my hip? So I think everyone needs to be a little bit of psycho and just find out, okay, stop bitching about it and let's figure out what's happening. Is it hormones? Is it menopause? Is it, you're just eating just too damn much? Like everyone needs to like take a look at yourself in the mirror, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Why did we even talk about this right now? I totally missed I missed what we were talking about. What happened here?
What's going on after 40?
Oh yeah. What's going on after 40? Jesus, what is not going on after 40?
So, okay. So what would you find with the people that are coming into you in their 40s with their skin?
I always it's stress. Most of it is stress. So, okay. Well, let me back up. If someone says, Nar, I'm in my 40s and I'm breaking out like as if I'm in puberty. And it's all about hormonal fluctuations and stress induced. It is both of those. It's nothing about your routine, about your cleansing, your exfoliating. There's only so much that's going to happen. But I feel like those who come in with, let's say, all of a sudden they have some sort of acneic problem, that's what it is. It's either stress or their hormones. If they come in, so I had someone today actually come in, they're like, damn, dude, I look like crap. Wrinkles, deep set static lines where without any expression on their face, you know how like you break that skin and it's just there. And so most of these women still work. You're still working. You're 40, 45, 50, whatever the case is. And most of which are on Zoom. So what do? They look at themselves and they analyze everything on Zoom because you're seeing your reflection. Right. And no amount of filter. And let me tell you, don't do filter on Zoom. It sucks because then it's this preconceived thing like, oh, I'm going to look like a certain way. Or then what's that word? Is it catfishing? When you like pretend you're how you look a certain way, but you're really not that person. Or what is that? Maybe I'm using the wrong word. But anyway, I'm like, don't use the filters on Zoom. Let's just see what the root cause of your expressions are, or your pigmentation, or, you know, your aging, your ligaments, muscles, everything is going down south. So you're going to need fillers. You're going to need, not that you're going to need, but if you want to see a change, you have to replace some of the stuff on your face that you've lost, which is volume loss, basically. Or if you've got too much expression on your face, let's calm down with the expression. I mean, there's so much out there that happens. And, you know, I'll tell you one thing real quick. Your life, you see it on your face. If you're bitchy, tired, stressed out, you see it on your face. If you're happy, energetic, you see it on your face. And that is reflective on basically everyday lifestyle. Everything that you do. So if someone says to me, right? So if someone says to me, I have these lines and wrinkles, I'm in menopause, some changes are happening, what's going on with my face? That's exactly what it is. It's like someone's getting a divorce. Someone is having this like huge, they're kids are going off to college. It's like empty nesters, whatever the case is. You literally, everyone that walks in through the door and sits in my chair, I'm like, all right. It's like a psychology thing. I should have been a psychologist.
I know. It's so funny because I say so many times, I should have been a doctor. Like when I go through some of the things and I do, I was like, even when I meet with some of my doctors about stuff, I was like, I would have been really good at this.
Yeah. And you know what else we do? We compare ourselves to other people. Oh, that girl that just left your office. Oh my God, she looks so good. I wish I looked like her. But no, you just need to look like yourself, just an improved version of yourself. That's all it is.
Well, and there's so many books out there about comparison and how, you know,
how to compare or not to compare.
Just how it's just like the root evil of just the destruction of all of us.
Totally.
So
we criticize ourselves like there's no tomorrow. What's this line? What's this like? Oh, I don't know. There's so much shit I hear. I can't even tell you. If I told you the stories, which I'm pretty sure I will one day.
Yes.
Maybe to all of you that you'll listen to all of it. It's crazy. We're so mean to ourselves. It's not even funny. It's pretty sad, actually.
That's when I was listening to something and it said, if you wouldn't say what you're saying to yourself to your best friend, then you really shouldn't
your
be saying
daughter,
it.
right? Imagine you have like a little 15-year-old thing. Oh my God. Can I just tell you something? You know what I saw? Off topic. I don't care. Listen to this. So I was in Beverly Hills and I walked into a store and it was mom, dad, and two kids. Two kids being one, maybe a 7-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl. Please don't judge me for judging, but I'm going to judge. Okay. This woman, mom's butt was so big, like filled with some BBL. Something was happening because I'm like, there's no way on God's given earth that you were born with that kind of ass. There's no way. So in my head, I said, holy shit. And then it was to the point where like wherever she went, because we went to a couple of stores ironically together, like we were, I don't know, on the same schedule. So I would see her and everyone else was looking at her funny. And in my head, I said, what does your 15-year-old girl think of beauty?
Right.
Does she think she needs to have a butt that big to be seen, to be heard? Does that make a presence in life? Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? That's like your daughter. And then you're like, okay, I'm just going to go get myself a BB. By all means, if you have a super flat ass, yes, honey, go do what you need to do to curve it up. But to that point, I was like, okay, we got a problem. And it's sad because that's all over. So she's got issues. The mom has issues. I'm just going to say it. Your mom has issues to think that's normal, right? That's it. That was my rant.
Well, I thought you were going to say I was really guilty of this. And then my daughter found it on social media and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she found that.
What?
So we're having this like serious conversation. Like she's talking to my husband and we're sitting there talking. And I've been giving her a hard time because her skin keeps breaking out like right here, right on her cheeks. And she's attributed it to this blush that she's wearing, right? And she says that this blush is making her cheeks break out. And so we're sitting there and they're having this conversation about college and everything like this. If my daughter ever watches this, she's going to kill me for doing this. But anyways, we're talking about it and I was like, I just look at her and I'm like, gosh, you really do need to stop using that blush. Because it was like so bad because she had just gotten done with sports. And my husband looks at me, he goes, what is wrong with you?
Why?
Like that was so wrong. And I was like, I know it was wrong. I know it was wrong. But I was like sitting there going, oh my gosh, I can't believe.
Oh, no.
So when you started saying something, I was like, oh my gosh, she's probably going to say something about somebody calling somebody out on skin.
Well, let me tell you, I told my sister whose son came out of his room wearing these like, I guess it's a thing, you guys, where like you wear these baggy pants, but they're kind of like, not, I don't want to call them capris, but they cut off at your like mid, like shin or something. So she turns around and says, take those pants off right now. You're not leaving the house like that. You look like a clown. I said, oh God, why would you say that to? Like, imagine you're a teenager, you think you're cool, and then you're going to go spend money on these pair of jeans that like everyone's like, oh, they're so cool. And then your mom's like, take those off right now. You look like a clown. And she's like, I don't care. This is how I was raised. Take them off right now or I burn them. So I'm like, okay, here we go.
Those mom moments, right?
I know. I'm not there yet, you guys. I don't know. I'm not there yet.
But it was interesting because I was thinking about when you started talking about hormones and breakouts. This was actually how I knew. So I started hormone replacement therapy about 6 months ago because I knew I have a family history of bone disease and I have a family history of heart disease. So I had tried hormone replacement therapy like 3 times during perimenopause and it all went horribly wrong.
Okay.
Because it was like massive.
I need to hear about this because I've heard great things and bad things about.
Oh, well, see, I had the
HRTs.
reactions because I was in my 20s and 30s, I was diagnosed as being allergic to soy. When we were living in Japan, I kept having soy and I kept having these massive migraines.
Oh.
And then I was having really weird reactions to my birth control. And finally, the doctor was like, I think you need to come off all this. I think you're really having allergy to soy. Well, once you kind of pull out foods, which is what I do when I like work with people, is I'll pull foods out. But when you pull foods out, if you try and put stuff back in, you realize, okay, maybe this doesn't work. So here we can, okay, so this will be a great WTF story. So trying the hormone replacement therapy. So the first time I tried it, it was like the first week and stuff. I was like, this is great. This is amazing. I feel awesome. And then like 2 weeks in, I just started, and I apologize for guys that are listening to this.
Oh God.
I just started bleeding like crazy. Like I wouldn't stop bleeding. And I remember at that point, it was one of those like online people, right? Because nobody would believe me because they're like, you're 40, you don't need perimenopausal stuff, whatever, your hormones are normal. And I kept saying, no, something's wrong. So anyways, I had reached out to the doctor and I was like, I just keep bleeding. He's like, well, we can reduce the dose. And I'm like, I don't know. This just doesn't seem right. And I said, I think I need to go off. So went off. And then I tried it again because I was like, I think I really need to try this again because of like, you know, what's going on and everything. And I was like, okay, maybe not. Again, seriously, breakthrough bleeding. So the third time,
Oh God.
I was like, I reached out to my friend and we'll probably have her on at some point. So she's a nurse practitioner and she's a menopause certified, you know, gone through all the stuff. And so she's like, I really think we should try this. And I was like, okay. I said, here's kind of the background story. And, you know, I think we need to try this, but I was like, I'm a little nervous about this because I'm like pretty much sure that all estrogen creams and patches are all derived from soy. That's where they get it. She's like, well, we'll just take it step by step and we'll try one. And I was like, okay. So we do the estrogen patch. Or we didn't do the patch because I'm allergic to latex. So I was like, I don't want to do adhesives.
You're
or whatever.
just listing all this
I'm a
stuff.
problem.
All right.
I'm a problem.
Okay.
I'm a problem. For whatever reason. There's no reason, you know, my daughter is like all these allergies. So I put like the little tiny bit of the estrogen just to try. Just a tiny bit. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And she's like, I want to try each individual one of them.
Right.
I woke up the next morning covered in hives.
Stop it.
And literally the worst yeast infection I've ever had in my life.
Boy.
And I was like,
Oh no.
can't do this. Got to go off of it. There's no way I can do this. Like, this is done. Like, this is like the universe saying you cannot do hormone replacement therapy. So then when I hit menopause, you know, when you have that snapshot and you can actually, for women that are thinking that they can test their hormones, you really can't test your hormones because your hormones go like
Up and down. Yeah.
up and
Fluctuate.
down and up, down. So like that whole, when you're turning 40 and you first hit 40, the hormones, I like to say your hormones are like this. Think of a tube of toothpaste. Have you heard me say this analogy with the toothpaste?
No, what?
So the tube of toothpaste, if you think of a woman that's under 35, if you think of your hormones like a tube of toothpaste, you know how like you squeeze on a tube of toothpaste and it just naturally comes out, this nice stream of toothpaste. So when you hit perimenopause, you think of your hormones as that tube of toothpaste, right? So think of like that tube of toothpaste as it's getting to the end and you're like squeezing on it, squeezing on it, squeezing it, nothing's coming out, right?
Yeah.
So that's like perimenopause, nothing's coming out. And then all of a sudden you squeeze on it and it goes,
Yeah.
and all
And
this
squirts
toothpaste.
out.
So that's exactly what perimenopause is doing. It's like your hormones are going a little bit and then they come back and then they just like give you tons where you have like 3 periods in a month kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, with all these things going on and now the doctor actually took the only snapshot in time that they can diagnose menopause is they have to look at your hormones and your estrogen is in the toilet, your progesterone is in the toilet, and your FSH, which is your follicle stimulating hormone for anyone listening, is like through the roof. Because that's basically saying your body is trying to ovulate,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to ovulate.
Yeah.
So anyways, I said after this, we got to figure this out. So we finally went back and forth. And so luckily she said, well, we can try an oral estrogen. Like that's the one that most people are like, don't do the oral estrogen, whatever. So 6 months later, I've been on the oral estrogen, the oral progesterone, and the cream of testosterone.
Like no reaction of some sort?
And
Everything is okay?
No weird reaction,
good.
but I feel so much better. But it was very interesting. About 2.5, 3 months, which is how long they say it takes for the estrogen to hit in, all of a sudden I started breaking out. I was like, why am I breaking out? I'm like, of course it is. It was just like when my cycle would start, right?
Right, yeah.
When I was younger. And then after 2 weeks, like it all adjusted and it was fine.
Here's the thing. I feel like some of the listeners are going to be like, I can totally relate. Let me see what you did, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of cool to kind of just guide them through because some people don't know what they're doing. They're just reading about all this stuff. So that's a really good story, actually. You kind of have to like follow what your body's telling you. You know what it is also? Sometimes you just need to go with your gut and trust yourself that you've lived with yourself all your life, right? So you have to trust what's happening, and no amount of doctors or blood work, or yeah, it can guide you, but I think essentially you're going to see what's up.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting too, like how I was thinking about this the other day. You know, we know, and people that get to know us will know that you do a lot with GLP-1s. And I do a lot with talking to women about balancing their hormones through nutrition, but then also starting like hormone replacement therapy. I think what's really interesting to note with both of these, like GLP-1s or even hormone replacement therapy, if you think it could work for you and you think it might be like something that's game changer, neither one of these are like earth shattering in the world, whatever. Like you could try it.
Yeah,
And if it
totally.
doesn't work,
I get
you
that
could
a
go
lot.
off of it.
So a lot of people are like, okay, well, what if I start my GLP-1 injections and then I want to come off? Then I'm like, okay, then you can come off. Absolutely. You can wean off. So, but I do tell them you have to give it the 3 months to get it to work. So the first month that you start on it, you're just acclimating to the medication because you're not trying to get sick. Then the second month we put it into gear. Like, okay, let's see what's happening with your weight. Third month is we're rocking and rolling. We're just shedding the weight off. And when you really think about it, 3 months out of your life is nothing. You know,
Yeah.
so when you actually start the medication, you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because then you're 165 because one becomes 160, 155, 150. Next thing you know, you're back to what you used to be, maybe 5-10 pounds more because you're a little older, and that's fine. But you feel so good about yourself. I can't even tell you. There's so many women that come in and they do the GLP-1s. They're like, why didn't I just freaking do this sooner? All you got to do is just, one, trust the process, do your blood work, get a foundation of like, okay, what's happening physiologically, what's happening, and then that's it. You just start your weekly injections, and that's the end of that. It's like, don't try, if you've been trying to do this all your life and it's not working, and you've gone through cycles and different methods of losing weight, then here we have it at our fingertips. You just do of course, you do it with someone that you trust. Absolutely. You do not get it online. Do not get this stuff online. You guys, it's horrible. Trust the process. And then that's it. You start seeing the results. I can't even tell you how good it feels. It's so good to lose the 30 pounds.
Well, and it's kind of, you know, with my whole thing with the hormone replacement therapy, like I would have given up except for when I saw my mom and realized it was really after she was limping so bad. And then she has to have a complete ankle replacement.
Yeah.
So they have to go in and change all that. And I was like, I don't want to go that route. I'm like, I don't want my bones to do that. And that was even before I'd gotten this stupid diagnosis. And then I was like, so if hormone replacement therapy can really make a difference and make a change in it, you know, and it's really interesting because everybody talks about wanting to do everything natural. So that's actually a pillar of in all the books. So I listened to 3 books. I mean, this is what you do when you have, what was it, 8 hours in the car. So I listened to 3 Audible books about very credible doctors. I won't bore you. Like you want to fall asleep listening to these, but it was the science behind some of this stuff. And all of them were talking about natural and the natural solutions, like not doing like the Fosamax and all the drugs for osteoporosis, but they all referenced hormone replacement therapy for women and how critical it is because of decline in women's hormones and how it ties directly into bone loss. So I think a lot of times people are very like all of this stuff, whether it's GLP-1s or hormone replacement therapy or fillers or any of that stuff, it's just like, it's bad. It's so bad. And so I think I love that's why we're here doing this, to talk about like all the stuff we've researched and that we've gone through and that we've talked to with our clients and patients. And, you know,
It's the same thing. If someone says to me, oh, I don't know about the GLP-1s because it's not natural, I want to do it the natural way. I'm like, sweetheart, you're getting Botox. What's natural about that? So if you're going to do something, make it, I mean, if you have a stance on something, make it count all across the board. You can't tell me I want to go lose this weight natural. I mean, of course you can. I'm just being like funny here, but you can't say I don't want to do GLP-1s because it's not the natural way. But what's going to happen? Girlfriend, you just did fillers and Botox 3 months ago. What are you talking about? That's not nothing natural about your face. There's nothing natural about your face. You're trying to enhance it, just like the way you're trying to enhance your hormones, your optimal functional thingamajig that's happening, and
Yeah, I saw the social media
Corry.
video where it was these two ladies came in and there's a patient and she's sitting there and she's like, I want to look natural just like you guys. And it makes me think of you and I standing there and like it has you there and it goes GLP-1, Botox, filler, and then like me over there, hormone replacement therapy, takes testosterone, like has protein powders, like all this stuff. And
There's
I'm like sitting there going,
yeah.
It's the degree of, doing stuff that's right. And I mean, figuring out what that is. I mean, I work with a lot of people that are like, I want to do the whole nutrition thing normal. I want to put through all of it. And I'm like, that's fine. It was the question that I used to always get when I worked with people that were a lot younger and they would do like weight loss and they always said, oh, you're against plastic surgery. And I'm like, who said I was against plastic surgery and why am I against plastic surgery? I said, I'm against plastic surgery if you're going to use it as a crutch. Like if you've been eating and then you're just going to go get plastic surgery or liposuction or whatever and keep eating like crap, that's where I have an issue. I said, if you tell me you want to lose weight and get in shape and you lose all the weight and you do it healthy and then you want to go get liposuction, go right ahead. But if you haven't fixed your issues, you know what's going to happen? You're just going to stretch all that skin back out and you're going to put all that weight back on.
That's all it is. You're just rebounding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I think we touched a little bit of the WTF.
What?
Okay. So we've got to do our rapid questions because we got to finish this off. So let's see.
I like this part. This is fun.
I do too. Okay. So pizza night or taco night?
Ooh. Pizza night.
I'm a pizza night too.
Yeah. I don't know, but then give me a good margarita. I'll switch real quick.
Yeah, see now for me it's pizza night. Like when I was competing in bodybuilding shows and I could have my one cheat meal, it was always pizza. Pizza and chocolate chip cookies.
They screw up my stomach, both of them. It doesn't even matter. Like if I eat either of those, I'm screwed for the next 3-4 days.
Was that from the lactose? The dairy?
I don't know. Someone said something about how they marinate like Mexican food, like meat, especially carne asada. How they marinate the food is like beer, right? They put beer. I don't know. I'm not Mexican, so or a Hispanic. I don't know. I just don't cook it. So I'm like, is it that? Is it the wheat and the beer? However they do it, or is it the cheese on the taco? Or
a lot of them will actually marinate. So my best friend, business partner Stacia, is allergic to she's really allergic to milk. A lot of times they will soak meat in milk.
What?
Because that'll make it more tender too.
Stop it.
Okay, more things for us to figure out. Okay. So planner or wing it?
Planner to the T. If I was not a nurse, I would be an event planner. I absolutely love planning. Love it.
I can see that. I like planning too. I have a really hard time with winging it.
I love
really
it.
Do. Although some of the best laid plans are when you're like, hey, you want to get together and do this tonight, and it all works together and everybody can make it. But
I know, but to have a good event, I'm the event planner.
Good to know. Good
love
to
that.
know. Okay, last one: makeup every day or barefaced beauty?
Barefaced beauty all the way.
So you're not wearing any makeup?
I am wearing a little makeup, but that's because we have a podcast today. But other than that, there's Nora walking around with, I have no makeup on, no mascara, nothing. I love being barefaced.
I love that.
I love it.
I usually only, because of the fact that my hair is naturally gray, and so my eyebrows are naturally gray. So I usually went to put just a little bit of stuff on my eyebrows and a little bit of mascara.
I went and got my eyebrows microbladed so I don't have to fill them in.
I know. I did that years ago, and I need to do it again.
I love it.
I need to do it again.
I'm all for natural looking faces, but if I'm just going to say it. So if my Botox is on point, it kind of clears out your skin. It makes you look like this glossy, glowy kind of vibe. And then I just slick my hair back, and then I put a good moisturizer, like medical grade skincare, and good to go. I don't even need makeup. The only time I wear makeup is if I'm glamming out. If I have an event to go to, I glam out. Because if you wear makeup every day, everyone's like, you're just the same old person. But then when you make up,
I know when I put makeup on, my kids are like, where are you going?
Yeah,
Mom?
it's so great. I love it.
I have a little bit of eyeshadow, and they're like, where are you going, Mom?
Yeah, but there are days we just need makeup. Yes.
I know.
The
Awesome.
bags.
Okay. Well, that's it for this one.
Yeah. Okay.